Ooh, I need to do a bit of a self-indulging thing really quick.
Oh, do you want us to turn off stream?
Well, first off, actually, thank you, Milmage, for the 25-month resub. This guy I've met several times now in Vancouver at some of the Twitch meetups. Really cool guy. And I remember when I first met him, he had turned his Partouf that he got into like this medallion for his necklace. It was kind of cool to see. But so super shout outs to him. But no, I was going to say, I look at Twitter really quick because I was making the tweet about the game. And I realized I'm like 24 followers away from 8,000 guys. So just saying, if anyone's willing, follow me on Twitter at riff_kings because I'm really close to breaking that 8K threshold.
Amazing.
And we love you long time. Anyways, you're watching the TopDogs tournament. How close are you? You and I are usually pretty close, right?
No, within 300.
Yeah, okay. You're watching the TopDogs tournament. This is an O Gaming tournament. It's a French tournament. All French players. Spawning in the upper right side of the map. He is, in fact, the underdog, however. The Red Terran Dayshi.
In the bottom left, as the blue Protoss, it's Mind Sanity's PtitDrogo.
Okay, so when I say underdog, by the way, I don't just mean because I think Drogo's going to win this, and I do. I'm definitely on the side of Drogo just power storming through this. But there's a literal tournament called the Underdogs, and it's something that O Gaming runs where they take a lot of players who play just, it's like a regular standard bracket. There's really nothing too insanely special about it. But the winners of the Underdog tournaments get to play in this TopDogs tournament at the end of the month, or I think it's every 2 months or something like that. But TLDR, there's about a 1,200 euro prize pool. This is the round of 8, and we already saw a little bit advanced to the semifinals. Dayshi and Drogo now fighting for another semifinal spot.
Yeah. Yep. So I agree. I think Drogo will take this, but maybe Dayshi has, I don't know, like got a mentality switch, or maybe he's practiced a lot since the qualifiers, which, mind you, was only 2 days ago. So that'd be quite the turnaround. But it was a situation where the Protoss just seemed to be that you know, this is the race that he's bad against right now, because everyone has that, whether you're a pro gamer or a regular casual gamer. Like, you're gonna have a race that you're worse against, and then everyone else is like okay, and then it might switch too. Like, you finally figure out one matchup, and another one gets worse and worse as well. And it feels like Dayshi, you know, that weakness might be versus Protoss. Now, we actually got to cast Dayshi on Dusk Towers 2 days ago, so this does look familiar actually as far as the build goes. Pretty greedy, although this is really greedy. Yeah, before that factory. And then if it's the same thing, he's going to be playing pretty defensive, and I think it will be with that third CC. Then, you know, defensive, safe, whatever you want to call it. And that can give a good Protoss player opportunities to just skyrocket ahead when it comes to the overall game, basically. Like, they can match the macro if they figure out that it's a third CC. They can then match the tech, you know, with a little bit of a greed of their own and whatnot.
Or you can just kill them because there won't be any production in the field. And
or that, yeah.
Adept in a Warp Prism are pretty nice.
That is certainly another option. The Protoss we saw last time did just out macro Dayshi and steamroll him, basically. But Drogo, maybe you're going to look for a little more pressure.
So we got a resub from SC2 Camera. Thank you for that very much. But Kitty the Neko donates $5 and says, I want white, but I also like the blue streak idea. I think you would look drop dead gorgeous with that combo song. I'm excited to see it. Shay says she likes it too. Thanks, VMware, for not letting them do the whole thing blue. My little sis did that, and it looks ew. But with that donation, the only thing I read is blue streak. Speeds by
The one thing about
for the naked eye.
The one thing about the white streak is that is what Rogue has, and like, I don't know, has anyone else had that like dream of actually being able to cosplay Rogue with like that white streak? I think it's pretty cool.
I like it. I think it looks nice. Just
Yeah.
the fact that it's at the front. Once you read more hits us up with a $3 donation. What's the last one we're going to read before we get into the fight? Because it's on the way. Roses are red, violets are blue, zircons are purple, and Zombie Grub's hair should be too. I like that. With $3 in purple when we get out of game. But this is a little bit concerning. I'd say actually it's more than a little concerning, because Dayshi was looking around for like an Oracle or something, or the Warp Prism to hit him in the main. Drogo's just coming brute force at the front door. Knock, knock, mother trucker. I've got an Immortal. And even though this, I guess the Stalker dies to the Widow Mine, he's still got the damage to tear down a depot. And once that depot, or even the reactor goes down, oh my god, that's even worse. The Adepts don't actually have to fight. They can just start transferring around and really just harassing the shit out of Dayshi.
Yeah, there's so many opportunities for Drogo here with that War Prism too. Instant reinforcements, getting above a wall if the wall had lasted any longer, or just going into the natural, some harassment if the Adepts don't feel like going there.
Well, focus down that Widowmine, not going to get the shots off. The SCVs
Ooh,
go down
the micro.
immediately. You know, if you can't go to the SCVs,
Oh,
have the
pressure.
SCVs come to you. But yeah, that pick on micro and the Warp Prisms are pretty sick. It's like giving Adepts blink.
Oh,
I
my
actually
good
hate
God.
it. I think when you've got players who do it right, that is some of the most broken shit in the game right now. You know, watching Mana do that dance, watching Drogo
GG.
now, GG. A very strong attack for game number 1.
Yeah, yeah, but against a pretty greedy Terran player, and I guess, we always say this, if we can kind of call what Dayshi does, then
The
maybe
players should be
Drogo
able-
did too.
Yeah.
Like, eh.
It's like a low self-esteem thing, but it's right. Like Zymergrim and I are not the most analytical people in the universe, but again, if even us can tell at a glance, then I'm sure the pro players who specialize in this department certainly can. I want to give a thank you to Space Yoshi for the 3-month resub, and Arms9 for Soul donates $6 to say, I think female ghosts have nicer equipment. Wait. See? Okay, sure.
Okay.
I actually would disagree. I think they have worse equipment, but they look nicer.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so hang on. With that, that's 11 extra on white. That'd be 504, because that's math. Whatever happened to the users BaseTradeTV and BoostTrudeTV? That's a good question. Those are like the best fake sub accounts.
Maybe they'll come back because originally Zombiegrub's middle nipple was like Zombiegrub's like right nipple or something like that.
Whoa.
And then we were like, where's he at?
Lewd,
And then he
Ace
came
Lewd.
back. And they came back.
All right, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons, but ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Game number 2 in this best of 5, spawning in the bottom right side of the map. It is going to be the red Terran player, Dayshi.
In the top left, as the blue Protoss, it is PtitDrogo.
Playing for my insanity.
Yes, he is. Now, someone mentioned in chat that I guess the French cast are talking about how he hasn't played in like 2 weeks, something like that. Don't know if that's actually true, obviously, but
Who, Drogo or Dayshi?
Drogo.
I would not actually be too surprised if that's the case, but correct me if I'm wrong, hasn't Drogo and Lilbao and DNS all been working on that the Le Twilight Council channel together?
Le Toilette Council? Excuse you? Excuse you?
Excusez-moi, I don't know.
Excusez-toi? I think it is Drogo on that. I think he is. I don't know.
I just assumed. It's the best French Protoss, so I'm like, it's got to be Drogo on there too, right? Like,
I only ever watched it once. so-
actually, you know what? I know for a fact he is because he had that video talking about how to deal with liberators on it. So there you go.
Ah, okay. So he's played something, but maybe just like very, very casually. Maybe he even talked about it on one of those streams. How like this is the only time he's playing. I'm not sure, but regardless, like if it's a interesting, correct point or not, I think like 2 weeks isn't even enough. Like you still are pretty up to date on what's going on, and it's probably just like a little bit of a warm up to honestly,
Well,
get to okay.
It's also worth noting that some of the better players in the game look better when they take breaks. Take Snoot, for example. He'll play the game relentlessly, get in a rut, take 2 weeks off, come back, and play better than he did before. I'm not saying that's always going to be the case for everybody, but it has been pretty consistent so far. Apparently that Ghost donation from earlier, by the way, is something the Ghost says when you click on it a bunch. So that's kind of cool. I like that someone dropped an Easter egg donation.
Oh. Yeah, and then another donation from Riamar. So I like all these donations.
Oh, wow. Yeah. $30, 42 cents. So
Wait, he was already winning.
just so you have fun calculating.
Son of a bitch.
Riamar, thank you. But also, man, like, I feel bad now.
Wait, why do you feel bad?
Because he's putting so much money into this. Like,
Oh, he said he wanted us to have a fun time in Austin. So he doesn't feel bad about it. But I do want to say
we are going to have a fun time in Austin. We're going to take so many pictures for you,
Yeah.
buddy. Thank you so much. But anyways, Rakshear is a bit of a funny map. We see the third base taken from Drogo in that spot behind the rock. So I think it's pretty safe to say we're going to see mostly everybody do this. It's just the other one is just too far away. Like, defending this doesn't
Yeah.
seem like an option. And what's weird to me is I could be wrong on this. I think in the actual Rakshear map, though, in the co-op campaign at least, this is actually connected. This isn't split like this. So it is really weird to look at for me because I play a lot of the stupid co-op mode.
Yes, yeah. Far more than I do. Yeah, but absolutely correct. Like the only positive side of taking that as a third base would be that like it's a plateau, so like you could put siege tanks up there and then hopefully like
Well, also
really
the watchtower covers it too, which is nice.
Yeah, that'd actually be very interesting to see. I don't know if anyone GSL has done it, but like how the attack paths would change if they both took it or if only one person took it or something like that. But anywho, the third base that we see from Drogo does make a lot more sense. Now Dayshi, I mean, this is actually kind of like deja vu, like it's not the exact same build as oh my god, the Terran we just cast, but it's like it feels like the same kind of like processing. Like okay, first you tried Dusk Towers, a normal 3-base build. You tried to be greedy. You got punished for it somehow. So Drogo obviously just all in and it worked. And then the next game, you go for what is like a little less greedy, but I think that maybe Dayshi will still get a third CC just, after he actually has a couple of units so that an all-in isn't quite as scary. And he's actually the one pressuring now.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, I've forgotten. We've seen a couple of Terran players start doing this lately, where you just get out on the map really early with a lot of units and try to trade for it. Now, unfortunately, the overcharges are both burned for Drogo. So as Dayshi heads back towards this base, there's not a lot to defend it, and frankly, he can take on what's here. Mothership Core included in that mix. With no overcharge, this is going to be too hard to hold. So Mothership Core goes down immediately. That's 100 minerals, 100 gas out the door. Marauder should be able to deal with the Stalker. Concussive Shell going to hold it in place. Kills the one warping in.
Yeah, that was a questionable warp in.
There's not a ton of probes here to kill, so this isn't like, oh my god, Drogo's lost the game because he took damage at this base, but this was like almost free damage for Dayshi. In fact, he could walk home with the bio if he wanted to.
Yeah, this was very good. I mean, you could say that Drogo could have handled this just a tiny bit better, like not warping in for the units, maybe holding off on the overcharge a little while longer. I mean, a bunch of things, but it's not a force that would kill the Nexus, so Drogo...
I don't know about pursuing. This is risky, because he knows there's not going to be a lot of units, but we do have an Immortal out, which could... The Immortal could solo everything that's left at this point. Yeah, as we see, like, the Marines are one-shot range, the Marauder's pretty pretty weak and susceptible to it.
Run, buddy.
Does a Marauder or an Immortal move faster? Take a guess real quick.
Without stim?
Without stim.
Immortal, I don't know.
And they actually move at the exact same speed, I just learned.
Oh, no, I know. So you see, like, once again, Drogo, like, warped in front, so he has a Stalker that's pretty low health. But, like, back on what we're talking about, 8 workers killed, but then on top of that, a Mothership Core, 5 Stalkers in total. Wow.
Yeah, if you had an idle Mothership Core, she would actually probably be at about full energy by now. The fact that he had to burn both the overcharges, lose the Mothership Core, only just rebuild it now, she's only going to have like 1 for defense, maybe 2, depending on how long the medevacs take to get in. We also have Drogo's going to see this with the probe. Woo!
Nice Chinese job, probe. But, Drogo, his army was out of position. It's not a very big army to begin with. His Mothership Core only just finished making, so it's only 1 overcharge. And Daishi's aggression is really working out here. It is pure Marine, but that's, it's a lot of DPS and actually makes the Immortal feel a little bit useless.
Well, I don't know. It can soak a lot of damage, as we saw. Like, he just wasted, like, 3 stutter steps into the shield of the Immortal and didn't even break. So, it did his job in taking damage. But, yeah, as we see, it doesn't save the probes. Oh, the massacre out of Dayshi.
He actually force-fielded, and that's why Dayshi, picked up and left. But that actually kept his units from going into the main base, so...
But see, this is... In our pregame banter, this is what I was talking about. Like, sometimes Dayshi just knocks it out of the park. I don't know what it is. A switch gets flipped, and he plays so freaking good. And you could argue, like, okay, Drogo played greedy, and he's playing off the back end of playing greedy, and maybe Drogo still wins this game. But I'm already just loving watching the control, the decision-making, and the moves that Daishi's making.
Yeah, this is a much better start, but it was also like a completely different style of play, He didn't go for the third CC very quickly. He did go for the extra 2 barracks, and then the third CC was only just finished up at that third base. So this one is definitely one I prefer seeing for Dayshi, and I'm going to guess if he wins this game, he does it again in the next map, but I actually don't remember what the next map is. We have a Dark Shrine looking to turn the tables, by the way, and a War Prism already doing some damage to the main mineral line. So the DT, okay, it was heard, so he should be putting up missile turrets in his bases. In fact, he already has one in his natural.
He's got scans. There's plenty
of scans. He's got scans
here.
Aplenty, damn.
Daishi's also not fully pulling back off this. Continuing to attack. He did lose momentum here at the third, but the Widow Mines didn't get picked off. And I don't know if Drogo knows that or not. There's 2 Widow Mines in the mineral line already. Probes in the main going to go down. Drogo's already down quite a few workers. They're on an even worker supply, but these Widow Mines coming off cooldown here in just a second. And boom, boom, boom.
Well, it looks like the SCVs are still dying. There's a couple of them. I guess that warp was, yeah, was over there. So 14 though seems to be the cap. Well, not if the warp doesn't die.
One more medevac goes down, which kind of sucks.
No
Daishi's,
pylon.
Daishi's about out of momentum on this side of the field. Like, Drogo's almost got a handle on the situation. But everything he had done up to this point was, like, at best, like, evening up. Because his third CC was later. He didn't, like, despite the good probe kills earlier, it was like 6 or 7. It was a handful. It wasn't that much. Now we're at this point where Drogo's actually hurting. Like, this is actually tough for him to be in this situation.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is what, I think you brought up what Dayshi is doing in the last series, actually. Like, you noted that it's probably going to be good for attacking to the left, or the bottom, rather, and then dropping to the top, which is exactly what Dayshi took advantage of. So it's been a really nice game, and probably just a really nice map for Dayshi. I really wish I remembered the map order, so we can talk about what happens next, but it's also just, I think, a style that might just fit him better. Drogo is having more problems than just the map, of course, taking the damage earlier on, but then just not spreading his units. It has been a bit of 1A.
He has pulled back off the probes. Like, he realizes his probe count's so low, he's best off having the mine in the main and the natural. But his third is not mining still, which is a problem. There's no sign of that Widow Mine getting cleaned up. This fight goes down. It's not going to go well. The Zealots can't get involved because this Widow Mine's going to pop off.
Yeah, he's going to clear up so many Widow Mines, and apparently Daishi's going to let him clear him up, but that means that the third will be sniped.
Get the whole base, it's worth losing a small handful of Widow Mines. He's got enough production back at home that with an SCV pull especially, this army from Drogo cannot kill Dayshi. Like, if it's a base trade, Dayshi wins without a doubt in my mind.
Yeah. Well, I guess this is just a series of killing greed, like... Dayshi was too greedy last time, got killed. Drogo too greedy this time, is probably going to get killed even as he tries to initiate a base trade here. It makes sense. It's a good thing that they're both on top of that. But then what's the third game going to look like? Are they both going to play greedy? Are they both going to all in each other? Ooh, that'd be weird.
Widow Mine's getting set down. Also, there's no detection on the attack for Drogo, so Dayshi will have pretty easy time defending as expected. Drop on the main just going to heal up a little bit, but GG gets called, and Dayshi will take map 2. Tying up the series now 1-1. Nicely done.
Oh, what was the next map? Endion.
Ruins of Endion. But this is going off of O Gaming's schedule, and I believe they'll be taking a 2.5-minute break now. So we're going to go to a break ourselves to try and match that. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll see you all in a few. Also, wait, before we do, I got to add Riomar's newest donation of $30 to the already exceedingly high 504 that White is now dominating with. All right, we'll see you guys soon. I hope you like white hair. All right, folks, welcome back. Game number 3. As everything is now tied up, let me swap this around, actually. There we go. Tied up 1-1 here in the best of 5 at the Top Dogs round of 8. Spawning the bottom left side of Ruins of Endion, we've got Millennium's red Terran player, Dayshi.
In the bottom right, as the blue Protoss, it is my Insanity's PtitDrogo.
Okay, so every day on Twitch, glad we come here. And every day on Twitch, I'm really glad we're not a Hearthstone stream. But I swear to God, our subs today are making me feel like we got some spammy bullshit, terrible chat. Like we're not
Wait, you
quite...
don't like emote only mode?
I love emote only mode. I don't like Ace Kate only mode.
No. Oh, well, you don't like Ace Kate?
Well, which one are we talking about? All right.
You don't like your cat?
I love my cat. So, Dayshi, I don't think there's a lot to really capitalize on. I mean, first off, when it comes to scouting Protoss or seeing what they're doing, like, that wasn't the build Dayshi did because he saw a third base. Like, that was something he was intending to do in the first place. It worked out really well because Drogo played greedy. This is another map where you actually might see somebody try and play greedy because you've got this like false security of the rocks you can knock down, but I don't think we're going to see anything quite as crazy as 3 Nexus any other time in the series. Like, for Drogo to have done that was either ballsy or confident as fuck. No, not even confident, cocky. I'll say cocky's probably the better way to phrase that.
Well, he might have been, just trying to read into what Dayshi's been doing. I mean, we called the greed on Dusk Towers, but you can do that just because of the map. But maybe he figures that Dayshi is just a defensive player. Certainly we saw like a symptom of a lot of Terrans back in like 2-3 months ago, or maybe longer than that even. Anyway, when Protoss were doing very, very well, they actually had like their buffs and not their nerfs. Excuse me, that the Terrans were playing very scared, like not defensive. not greedy, but just scared. And Dayshi, kind of maybe had that problem that it was yes qualifiers, and Drogo was trying to look and take advantage of it, but he got slapped for being presumptuous, and I guess he's gonna try and do something a little bit different here. As you're right, Ruins of Andion, you can see people go for greed because you can break down the rocks and only have to worry about the main base basically being dropped, but against a Terran, I feel it's a lot riskier. Against a Zerg, they're mostly going to have only ground units for a long time, but against a Terran, they're going to get the medevacs and start dropping you.
Right, and I mean, if for no other reason than the map design itself, you should be going for a Widowmine drop of some variety here. Now, Daishi's not. He's actually gone for 3 racks, and this isn't a bad choice, but if he had been going for that Widowmine drop, and if the factory was coming out really fast, and the starport, etc., he'd see the Twilight Council being a bit of an odd spot. He'd see the potential Blink or Dark Shrine or whatever it was going to be. It is Blink, as we see, but for him, this is all sort of question marks. Now, it doesn't look like he's jumping over to take a 3rd CC, but with the 3 racks coming down like this is him going for that fast stim. This is him getting those units out, kind of akin to last game. It's just certainly odd to see with the rocks having been torn down that's what his follow-up would be.
Wait, hold on. I need to read this. Look at the lower ground in the mini-map, covering the top half of the page. It's the same face, too. Huh?
What? The lower...
Beamer says there's the same face that we always call out in the lower part of the mini-map. I don't see it. You need to Photoshop that. Open up Paint, Beamer.
Open up Paint and hit us up with a tweet, man, so we can follow up on this. So the rocks are coming down, and this actually ends up being a little bit better for Dayshi, all things considered. He's thrown down a bunker for safety because he doesn't really know how much is coming up behind it, but really he's the one with the better production in this case. Drogo's the one going for a 3rd, and Drogo's the one who was banking on Blink. So for Daishi's sake, if he actually decides to move out, again, he already has an enormously large amount of army units in play for what would be this time in the game. He's going to stim to go with it. Frankly, I think if he moves out, he's going to have a pretty nice time. But at the same time, it doesn't seem like he's ready to move out. He might be banking on the starport, waiting for a medevac or 2, but no sign of a 3rd is my point through all of this.
Well, Dayshi might have a very good push if he pushes direct. That is, he breaks down his own rocks, and then he... you don't have to break down Drogo's rocks. You ever broke them down, you just walk through Drogo's rocks, and then you take on Drogo's army. But if he tries to drop, then that's where the Blink Stalkers should be their highlight moment, and they should be covering specifically a drop, especially main to main, the most obvious drop you're going to have on this map. The Observer was in a very obvious spot, so not surprised that Dayshi saw it. And
that's a quick snipe too. That was immediate recognition of that little blur on the map.
Yeah. But that's really nice. That's an Observer that wouldn't just sit over the main army potentially. It might have also just gone to the middle of the map instead and stay to watch for drops like this one I guess is going to try and do. Drogo is getting double upgrades. He's getting resonant englaves. It's more akin to what we saw from Lil Bao, but without that pressure. Probably because 1, he doesn't want to, but then 2, I mean the rocks are already broken down, so how are you going to pressure anymore in a timely manner anyway? So it's just those units for defense. They would have actually not been in position to stop a drop, and the drop could have killed so many important buildings, the Toilet Council and the Forges.
Well, drop aside, he's still able to just kill him with brute force. I mean, Blink is certainly here for Drogo, and that's cool, but we not only have combat shields and stim, we got concussive shells. We got +1 now finished up. I mean, for goodness sake, Drogo has half the army supply. Dayshi should just be able to roll through this, even with Guardian Shields and Force Fields.
Okay, I was a little bit worried about the Force Fields, but you're right. He just
Riggedy wreck.
The 2nd Sentry just doesn't even get there in time, and Drogo...
He's dead, Morty.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's dead. This was not a very...
I hate this. Every time I've ever tried to do this build, because I've copied it straight up, we've studied replays with players with cast, where you do these sort of aggressive builds, it never works for me. But then you watch pros do it, and you're like, Drogo's 10 times better than everybody I play on ladder. Why does it work on him?
The drop, by the way, does go into the main base.
Yeah,
there's a cannon put up as you realize there are so many important buildings here, but Blink Stalkers, especially unupgraded Blink Stalkers, their upgrade's still not done.
They're not going to fight this. Not with 3 Marauders here.
The mothership is probably going to...
Yeah, the overcharge is actually pretty good. The pylon might go down, but it's going to kill most of the drop. Attack in the front. Oh, the Artosius of pylons! GG.
Oh, boy.
Dayshi taking a lead now in this series, 2-1. Not bad. And it's we don't have an injury for this one, so Coral Carnage knockout. Woo. Earlier, someone was asking, by the way, I think about Lilbow's portrait. The if you pre-ordered Overwatch, there's like Winston, Tracer, Reaper. Like you get like a ton of portraits with StarCraft. It's kind of cool. I like it. Actually, I love that Blizzard does that. If we're just gonna be honest for a second, like I play a lot of Blizzard games. Like I don't play them all religiously, but I play literally every Blizzard game, and I love that there's always cross promotion hardcore. Like you'll get something for Diablo and StarCraft and Warcraft when you buy something for Hearthstone, or vice versa. But oh my, what is this? We'll see. All right, he's up 2-1 in the lower half of the map on the right side. It is going to be Millennium's Red Terran Dayshi.
In the middle left as the blue Protoss, it is mine, Sanity's Drogo.
So this could just be like a legit early scout, but I was thinking like he's probably gonna proxy something.
Yeah.
So the only places Drogo could have spawned here would have been like here, or here.
Yeah. So I guess the top right, I suppose, would have been the worst. But even then, that wouldn't be that far away from him.
Yeah, it would have been here, or here, wouldn't it? So he should have built the proxy on this side. Just thinking on it.
What?
Because he doesn't know that it's cross spawn. Like,
yeah.
It's 50. Like there's a bigger chance that he spawns in one of these two than up here.
Yeah. Well, anyway, regardless. So I just wanted to comment on. Well, first of all, there's gas is taken with this, but also that. Remember back in the day when you didn't automatically build a supply depot? You waited like 2 SCVs to rally it out. I remember being very, like, I would almost call a proxy every single time an SCV would go out to build a supply depot in Legacy of the Void, because I just wasn't used to it. I miss proxies. And we get to see one again. Yay! And it's a Reaper proxy.
Well, hang on. So this is Reapers, but there's a bunker coming now, which I find really odd. And I'm wondering if there's going to be like a mix of Marines in this now. Because Reapers, like you could argue this is the safety hut, but you don't use this the same way you do versus Zerg. In fact, you die a lot easier to Protoss than you do versus Zerg. So this is all kinds of strange and interesting to me. But the Zealot will not be enough. He does build this right away because it's meant to buy time. The Reaper isn't just going to free shoot the probes, but it looks like he will nonetheless.
Yeah, of course, Drogo saw the lack of a barracks when he scouted. And that was his hint to at least try and get a Zealot, so maybe it could buy a few hits from that Reaper. Of course, if the Reaper gets hit by the Zealot, then Dayshi messed up. But this is already getting some of those probes low. The militia pops out, but there's no pylon behind here. Oh, it gets a second Reaper, though.
And both. Ooh, that's a problem. Now, in fairness, there's no Terran player, I think, that has high expectations of doing a ton of damage with Reapers versus Protoss. Let's just be real. The Mothership Core is too good at stopping all of this. But without energy and without the use of stock just yet, it's still going to be a problem. So, goes back to the mineral line. Now, imagine a world where there's 3 Reapers instead of just 1. He kills a lot more probes through this. But Dayshi is putting it all on the line to do this. And frankly, I just feel like with the first 2 going down, this already feels like it's snowballed in a bad way.
Yeah, so I think because the Mothership only has that 1 overcharge available, and it takes so long if you're facing the correct build to get a Stalker or an Adept or what have you, that ideally you have 3 Reapers or 4 Reapers at this point. You dodge the overcharge and then the Reaper didn't die.
It's really fun. The Mothership Core could get in here, but she doesn't know that there's not a Marine in there. If she did, this would just be like her killing the SCVs and hammering away at the bunker. I think now cluing into what's going on, Drogo gets a little bit too deep with one of the Stalkers.
Uh-oh. Okay, so he's going to cut off reinforcements, but there's actually a lot of Reapers available, and they can take on Stalkers.
Barracks heading towards the main for scouting. Just landed here and start building Marines.
He built a factory and is on his way to Starport right now, so, did he just recall? Oh, I don't think he meant to recall. Did he?
I don't know. I mean, he maybe didn't want to walk past the bunker. It is in range to the bottom of the ramp, and one of the Stalkers is really low.
That's a fair point. Looked very, very funny. Oh, a Banshee follow-up. Wow. I just expected, honestly, wouldn't mind follow-up, but, we haven't really been talking about the other proxy that's going on, by the way.
I don't care about the Banshee. I care about the Cyclo.
No. Look at the other proxy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, okay, this is where the Banshee wins the game, I feel. Or the cyclone even. Like again, like anything that comes out of this rowboat can be kited by a cyclone. That's the harsh reality.
Yes. Yeah. That.
I
actually,
can't believe
the
he's killing a
cyclone-
Nexus though. Like this blows my mind.
Yeah. The Nexus going down is already pretty poor for Drogo, but then to do what he is doing against what Dayshi is doing, it's going to be very awkward as he realizes that.
Oh.
I mean, Immortal's not really going to help.
No, but well, the Banshee's not going to be the easiest form of defense. That Cyclone does so much damage, and the best part about the lock-on is its range. But we got a monster donation from Raymar. I'll tab out and get the message later, but thank you for the $55, man. Holy damn.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, you're not going to like him in a second.
Okay, well, then I'll definitely wait to read it till after out of game. Now for Drogo, a bit of payback. You know, might not kill the command center, but it buys so much time. It's not completing. It's dangerous. It's a point of contention. The Cyclone comes on over. The Banshee's out with no stealth detection whatsoever. An Observer gets chronoed immediately, but not before the Stalkers go down. Even with the Cyclone falling, though, I feel like this is already done more than enough. He's going to try to kill the pylons. Well, actually, with more Stalkers, maybe not. This is questionable. The Banshee can take on 2 Stalkers. He can't take on 3 is the problem.
And Drogo
Second
realized
Banshee,
that a problem would be potentially killing the pylon and thus stopping both Warpins and the Robo production. Okay, it goes down. But the tank's now out. Another Banshee's on the way. I still think that Dayshi has a better situation.
Oh,
like, it's so funny to
his
see the
command center-
ramp and the choke being an issue here.
His command center actually finished. Like, that's a huge point to mention. Not only can he retreat
But
this now, but it's an extra mule. The tank's in a great spot. It's hammering away. Reapers just doing what they can. The tank goes down, but the Banshee is just reigning supreme in the sky. New Stalker comes into the fight. The Immortal still hasn't died. SCV is getting pulled. He gets a little bit hectic, and I think Dayshi's starting to panic, but again, I still like the position he's in right now.
I do too, but you can see why it was very scary. Like, that tank didn't have a medevac to move it around, so that's where the Immortal was key and always was meant to be key in taking out tanks, as well as potentially like a wall if there was one. But they did a ton of splash damage to the Stalkers that were available. These ones are getting cleaned up, and that's it for Drogo.
I mean, this is like, that's the series. Congratulations. Dayshi moves on to the semifinals.
Woo!
Truly the underdog in this instance. Gotta say, good job, Dayshi. All right, so I'm gonna groan at this donation. Is that the that's okay.
Yes, you are.
$55.21 from Riamar. It says 7 on violet, 4 on fuck off. 7 on violet, 4 on blue, 30 on magenta, 2 on red, 6 on white, and that should make it easier to calculate the next few donations. Which one is magenta?
Red, isn't it? No, wait, no, that's red.
There's 2 on red.
You're right. What is magenta? Oh, the purple?
Pink?
Pink purple?
I think he's going for pink, because violet to me is purple more than blue.
Well, I googled magenta.
Actually, you know what? No, this just goes left to right, and he left black out, so there you go.
Okay, good.
Damn it, Riamar. Okay, we're gonna be taking an 8-minute break here, anyways, because we're between series. So 7 on violet's gonna make that 30. Oh, did he just actually? Maybe I don't hate Riamar. I think he just evened up all the donation numbers.
Yeah, I think that's why he says it's going to be easier to calculate.
Yeah, 4 on blue. That makes it 50. Oh, Riamar is a sweetheart. See, Zombie Grub, if you had said nothing, I would have figured this out on my own. But this predisposition of you trying to make me hate Riamar.
Yeah, when you first saw the different numbers, you were like, oh, fuck you.
Because you had told me I'm going to hate him, and I didn't read the rest of it. So Riamar, I just want to let you know, that's what she's done, man. She's driving a wedge between us.
Mm-mm.
Alright, nothing on blind. 2 on red. This is unnecessarily difficult to do. Alright, 2 on red. And then 6 on white. And that should make them all super. Man, you know what's going to suck, actually? And I realize bringing this up on stream is a mistake.
What?
The next week leading up to DreamHack, I have to somehow avoid spoilers for Game of Thrones. Because I'm trying to save it for the plane ride.
Oh, well, okay, well, yeah. Luckily, I don't care, so.
Right.
I'm free!
So before we go to the map, before we go to the break, guys, we have the map order for the next one. Oh, and thank you, Renard T. Fox, for the 16-month resub. But yeah, about 8 to 10 minutes is the estimated start time. Next match is going to be Firecake versus Denver. The maps are going to be Dusk Towers, Rakshir, Ruins of Endion, Sky Shield, and Invader. So we will do what we did before, where we're just going to mute the stream so that you guys can leave it up in the background without worrying about not liking the music or something. You can just go to Reddit, tab around, whatever. We'll be back in 8 minutes, though. So we'll mute ourselves until then. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in a bit.